Hi guys, welcome back to the Betterment Project. My name is Raffy Rodriguez. Brothers, we spend a lot of time on this channel talking about tactics, how to handle the career, how to manage the house, how to lead in your relationship. But today, we're going inward. We're talking about the engine under the hood, your mental health. If the mind isn't right, nothing else is going to run smoothly. Today's episode is about internal recovery every man needs to undergo to stay in the game for the long haul. Let's start with a word that makes a lot of men break out in a cold sweat: vulnerability. We've been sold this lie that being a man means being a vault. You take the hits, you stay silent, and you never let them see you sweat. But here's the reality: that's not strength, that's a pressure cooker. Eventually, a pressure cooker with no valve blows the house down. I call this the vulnerability paradox. The very thing we fear will make us look weak. Sharing our struggles, admitting we don't have the answer, is the most masculine thing you can do. Why? Because it requires extreme courage. It takes a zero ball to stay quiet and let resentment rot your soul. It takes massive balls to look your partner or brother in the eye and say, I'm struggling and I'm not sure how to fix it. When you open that valve, you stop internal rot, regain control. That is true masculine power. Now, how to rebuild after emotional burnout? What happens when you ignore the pressure for too long? You hit emotional burnout. I'm talking to our brothers who feel numb. You're not necessarily sad. You're just gray. The years of grinding from the promotion, the late night feedings with the kids, and the constant on-call nature of being a provider has left you spark extinguished. Finding that spark again isn't about a weekend bender or a midlife crisis car. It's about micro recovery. You need to rediscover the self outside of the provider. Audit your yeses. If you are burnout, you are overextended. Start saying no to things that don't deserve your recovery. Physical intervention. Your mind follows your body. If you're numb, get your heart rate up. Move, sweat. Remind your nervous system it's alive. The 15-minute rule. Find 15 minutes a day where you aren't a husband, a father, or a boss. Just a man. Read, sit in silence, or work on a hobby that has zero ROI or return of investment other than joy. Now let's talk about the importance of a tribe. Here's a hard truth. Your wife cannot be your everything. One of the biggest mistakes modern men is making their spouse their sole emotional outlet, their only best friend, their only source of perspective. That is a recipe for a suffocating marriage. You need a tribe. You need a circle of men who don't live in your house. Why? Because you need guys who will give you the locker room talk of life. The guys who will call you out on your BS. Give you a reality check when you're being a jerk to your wife. Remind you of who you are when you've lost your way. A man with a tribe is a man with a safety net. Without it, you're on a tightrope and the only person watching is your partner. That's too much pressure on her. It's dangerous for you. Find your brothers. Now trying to forgive yourself. Finally, we have to talk about the weight you're carrying. Most of us are trying to be the better man while dragging a backpack full of old man's mistakes. You're haunted by the time you lost your temper, the season you weren't present, or the mistakes you made early in your marriage. Brothers, listen to me. You cannot build a clean future on a foundation of self-loathing. Forgiving yourself isn't about letting yourself off the hook or saying what you did was okay. It's about acknowledging that the man who made those mistakes no longer exists because you've learned the lesson. If you're still punishing yourself for who you were 3 years ago, you're stealing the energy you need to be the man your family needs today. Drop the bag, make amends where you can, but then move forward. This project, the Betterment Project, isn't just about what you do. It's about who you are when the lights are off and you're alone with your thoughts. Take care of your mind. Find your brothers and forgive the man you used to be. If this episode hit home, hit the subscribe button. Drop a comment about your own tribe and share this with a brother who might be feeling that burnout today. Again, this is the Betterment Project with Raffy Rodriguez. See you on the next episode.